Powell and the Coach Ryan Locke Show. Well, it's the Etowah Football Show with Coach Ryan Locke.
That's right.
And my man Jerry White's with us over here on the side.
Leave me out this week. It don't matter.
You know.
We're just here to celebrate the first victory as a head coach for one Coach Ryan Locke. That has to feel good.
Well, I'm excited for the kids. Number one, it was a big win for the kids, a big win for our program, big win for the school. Our staff did a great job putting in getting our players' attention, number one, after the Gaston City game, and then putting in a game plan against a very good and well-coached Aniana football team. Aniana played tremendously well. They played hard. I think Coach Phillips, he's done a great job. They continued to play hard even when we got up. We got up 14-0 there at one point, and they continued to battle back and cut the score to 14-7. We were able to get a couple of touchdowns late in the game to seal it away, but got to give Aniana a lot of credit. Their players played hard. I was proud of our kids for the resiliency. Not the first half that we wanted offensively. I thought defense played tremendous football. I thought our special teams was really good all night long. Offensively, we shoot ourselves in our own foot during the first half. We'd do something good, and then there'd be a penalty, and then this and that. And then the second half, we were able to get some things going and some consistency with it. And I think we were in pretty good shape. I think that showed in the second half. We were able to do some tempo things with our being able to run the football. So those things, it all worked out pretty good.
We were wondering what the halftime spiel was, because you came out and your boys, your men, looked like a different team. They really did.
Mainly just quit shooting ourselves in the foot. We had played, again, we had decent looking opportunities in the first half offensively where we had things going, and then we'd shoot ourselves in our own foot and which would put us behind the chains. And no football team is really very good when you're playing 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 20 or whatnot. That's not good for any offense. So just quit shooting ourselves in our own foot, go out and execute what we can do, and get the ball in the hands of the guys who can run really fast. And that was pretty much the synopsis of it. And our offensive line, I thought they did a much better job in the second half of controlling the line of scrimmage. I thought we had pretty good push all night, and then as the game went on, you could see the push coming more and more and more. We were able to reestablish the line of scrimmage, certainly in pretty much throughout the fourth quarter.
Yeah. The end of the third quarter, you guys were getting that push. Mm-hmm. We were talking about up in the box how they were owning the offensive line. Mm-hmm. So you're right. They came in and made great adjustments and did a great job getting the push.
And really the best. You know what the best game time adjustments are? Is when you simplify what you're doing.
Right.
And you take that big, nice, colorful call sheet that I have, and you start marking out and say, this is what we're going to run. And you really, you look at it, if you look at it, we only ran probably had about 4 or 5 different calls in the second half. And, sometimes the best coaching is knowing what to not call.
Sure. Talk a little bit about the development of your young quarterback and kind of some steps he made.
I thought Trace grew a lot from the Gaston City game to the Aniana game. There's still some things that he needs to work on, but I thought he did a much better job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and understanding to take what the defense gives you. Take what the defense gives you. Don't try to force things downfield. There was one time when we did force something, and that was probably more my fault than his because I'm the one who called the play. But take what they give you, and quarterbacks who get the ball out of their hand quickly, they're usually pretty successful. The ones that just hold it, that's when bad things happen. So he did a much better job of that on this past Friday night, and hopefully it'll give him some confidence. I thought the touchdown pass to Ollie certainly was something that hopefully will give him a lot of confidence and understand that, hey, you don't have to make these long downfield throws. If you can just get the ball in the hands of these guys, that they can go with the football they can take it where it needs to go. So hopefully that's something he can build on and can carry on. I thought management of the game was a little bit better for him, and some good positives for him to improve upon.
Yeah, talk a little. You mentioned special teams, and I want you to talk about that all you want to. But I also want you to talk a little bit about your kicker. I thought he was tremendous.
Well, he was good on 4 PATs. That's really good. The first field goal attempt that we had, I think, on our second drive of the game, certainly didn't turn out the way we wanted to. I think he either kicked the bottom or kicked the ground or something. Not sure what happened there. At first, when I saw it in live action, I thought it was blocked. And then when I went back and watched it, it wasn't blocked at all. We missed it somehow, some way. But he came out. He did a good job on field goal PATs. He did a great job on kickoffs, putting the ball where it needs to be on the kickoff part of it. Because let me tell you that as a head coach, there's 3 special teams that I just cringe on. Mm-hmm. One is kickoffs, and one is punts. And I thought for the most part we did a pretty good job in those 2, and then the other one, of course, is field goal PAT, because anytime you're talking about points on the board, that's something that you have to execute. So I think he has stepped in and embraced his role really well. And when I look back at the film, it's not like he's darting for the sideline every time. He's actually up there looking to see, am I going to actually get in on the tackle a little bit.
That's awesome. Hey, and you may have the most athletic punter in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Well, there's a reason why he's back there for that. When I during the summer, we were, one of the issues we've had with the whole COVID deal. Obviously, we didn't get to have spring football. Yeah. We were limited in what we could do in the summer. So when it came time, and we lost our kicker from last year. I mean, last year Eric Edge did everything for us. He kicked field goals. He kicked off. He was the punter. So that was those were big holes that we needed to find answers to. And we're out at practice one day, and somebody makes mention that Ollie had punted back in middle school, and so we let him try, and next thing I know, those punts they're going a lot further than what they were beforehand. So he's done a good job with it. I think he's starting to embrace the role a little bit, and it's I know from being on the other side of it, when you have an athlete like that back at quarterback, it kind of scares you a little bit, because you never know what can happen.
Well, he could actually punt the ball, run down, fair catch it himself. Can we put that in the game plan? Can we see that?
Well, I'm gonna have to tell him to get a little more height on the ball to do that. I don't want to boom at that far if that's the case.
Talk a little bit about your defense and how well they showed out this week.
Defense played outstanding. I thought Coach Pierce, Coach Bone, Coach Booker, Coach Dupree did a great job putting in the game plan, making sure that our kids understood what their responsibilities were, line up and play. And thought we flew to the football really well. I have a visitor on Saturdays. I go up to the field house, and I'll change out some laundry, and I'll watch the film. And I usually have a certain individual who used to coach at Etowah.
Yep. Coach Farmer here.
Hi. Yeah. He usually stops by on Saturdays and sees me. And so we pull the film up and we watch it. And when Coach Farmer's in there, I do more listening than I do anything else. But he was very complimentary of how our defense ran to the football. Yeah. When you watch the film, the defense was flying to the football, gang tackling, rallying to the football, getting off blocks. Thought our front line did a really good job of reestablishing the line of scrimmage. Thought our linebackers played downhill. Secondary played really well. Had a chance for a couple of interceptions. We just got to make those plays when we have them. But I thought our defense played really, really well. Against a very physical football team.
Yes. What is it like having somebody on the field like Jacob Sanford that is just a leader on the field?
Well, Jacob does a great job on both sides of the ball. He's able to play both sides, offense and defense, and he plays with a great motor. Toby Camp is another one who plays with an unbelievable motor. I thought our whole defense overall played really hard. The whole front line, the whole box. Yeah. Played really well, from the linebackers to our defensive front, our perimeter players containing what they were trying to do, which was a lot of off tackle a lot of the run plays that were off tackle. So I thought everybody did a great job, and certainly Jacob's effort shows up, along with Toby's, along with Bennett Nance,
Yes.
Jalen Billingsley, Perry Byers, who's here as well tonight. You'll see here in a minute. Our linebacking core, Dobbs, Gladden, Caleb Freeman, Ethan Foster. Those guys just played really, really, really hard.
You got speed and you got tenacity.
We are blessed
Yes.
to have some speed on defense, particularly on the back end.
Yep.
And we're pretty quick up front, but in the back end we are blessed to have a pretty athletic group, one of the better athletic groups
Maybe
that I've been around.
pretty athlete. Maybe an understatement, right?
well, I don't want to give them too much credit.
You don't have a
right
bunch of Jerrys back there running around.
or Ryan Locke.
All right.
Hey, I want you to you did mention Ethan. To talk about, and you have Ethan and a couple other players. You really are blessed also with versatility.
We are. We've got we have a lot of players who played a lot of football.
Yes, sir.
These seniors have played a lot of football from particularly their sophomore year. Trent, I know, played a lot his sophomore year. Nana played a lot his sophomore year. Ollie, I know he obviously he played a lot last year, and Ethan played a lot last year. So we have a lot of players who have played a lot of football. Even some of our younger players, Bennett Nance, Jacob Sanford, didn't play a lot on defense last year. He did play some offense. Toby played, obviously, all season last year. And, Bennett Nance, as I said, Jalen Billingsley has played a lot of football. Tyler Dobbs has played a lot. Trevor Gladden has played a lot. Those guys have played a lot of football, so we are blessed to have a lot of experience on both sides of the football, defensively and offensively.
Talk a little bit, Coach, about the guys who don't necessarily get as much credit from the radio broadcast, and Jeff and I need to do a better job at that, and we will. The snapper holder, kind of the specialty kids that make everything go.
Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't show up until there's something wrong. When there's something wrong, everybody in the whole stadium knows about it. When everything works right, you don't ever hear anything about it because it's like clockwork. It's smooth. It's smooth. And Caleb Freeman has come in and embraced the snapping role, the long snapping role, and done a pretty good job of that. Now we've got his brother Briggs working on that as well. Our holder, Mr. Pierce, has done an outstanding job with that. He really embraces that role and takes a lot of pride in making sure that's done the way that it's supposed to be done. So, those are two positions that they get overlooked a lot because they're taken for granted, I guess. But I've been in situations where when things didn't go right, it was very ugly.
Yeah.
And so we do spend every day. That's what we do at the beginning of practice is we work on the specialty period of snapping, catching the snaps, getting it down on the tee for the kicker, and snapping to the punter, making sure our punter's good, and making sure that our returners are working on that.
That's your returners. My gosh, it's not just one.
No, we're blessed in that area to have a couple of kids that we can stick back there. So, competition's always a good thing. So hopefully, maybe we'll break one here soon. We've had opportunities. We just, and to our credit, we played two pretty well coached, fast. Gaston City certainly had a lot of speed, and Aniana had pretty decent speed as well.
Very well coached, Aniana.
Aniana's very well coached.
Yeah.
Very well coached. Their kids play hard. As I mentioned earlier, they continued to fight even when they were down. And so that's the mark of a well-coached pro.
Well,
Coach Phillips does a great job.
You're going to see that team win a lot of football games. Don't let the 0-3 start.
Well,
if somebody's just looking at the roster,
I don't really count those first two losses.
Very good team.
I think that will be proven as the season goes on. They'll be a pretty good team by the end of the year.
No doubt. And now, Coach, we get to bring up some players, and we're doing Player of the Week award.
Hold on, Desmond. Come here, Perry. Come here, Trent.
We're going to start.
I'll get out of the way and let y'all handle this one.
All right. We're going to do
in the middle,
Jeff,
guys.
I'm going to let you give this one first.
We give these are our offense and defensive player of the week, And our defensive player of the game, actually, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 5 QB hurry-ups. Our man, Perry Byers.
Man,
and by the way,
y'all
welcome
give us a love,
to impressive.
Step up to the microphone, man. We gotta let people know who you are.
My name is Perry Byers. I'm from Gaston, Alabama. I'm really not a talker for real.
Well, your plaque says otherwise. You talk.
That's
you
right.
talk with the pads, probably not.
Yes, sir.
Man, we're
You had a
unbelievably-
lot of Blue Devil fans ready and anticipating, especially this man right here on your left. He was excited and ready to see you play, and you showed out. And it was great to see you play, and you did an incredible job.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you made Ben from Gadsden, but you a Tala now.
You a
son.
Tala, that's right.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
get it twisted. And offensively, I mean, it had to be. I mean, I know your offensive line is great, but man, you did work, man. So excited. Like 7,000 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Offensive. I'll get him down later, Coach. Give it a few minutes. I pick him up to drag him down. Offensive player of the week against Aniana, Mr. Trent Davis.
Yes.
Man, so I know you get a lot of awards, man, and rightfully so. But I know you're the ultimate team guy. Talk
Yes, sir.
a little bit about that.
You know, it was I couldn't have done this without my O-line, first off, and my O-line coach. He getting them right. My team we had a great overall effort at the game, and we came out big the other night.
Man, let me ask you this question. I'll put some on the spot. We're going to talk to you a bit later, too. You're coming back. We're interviewing you. Of all the wide receivers, who's the best blocking wide receiver?
Blocking?
Love.
Probably Ollie.
Okay. So the rest of your wide receivers blocking, y'all got to step your game up. All right, man. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, guys.
This is by Northeast Orthopedic. It's a great sponsor, but this is by Tala Country Club, Capel Sports, and we're excited to give it to you guys.
Yep,
Great job, man.
congratulations,
Y'all keep fighting. Keep working.
And Trent will be back in a minute along with one of our seniors, Desmond Blair.
Yeah.
It'll be our senior spotlight for the day. But proud of those two for their efforts. I'm proud of the whole team. Thought everybody played with a lot of heart and determination and resiliency throughout the game.
Yep.
Dude, I want you to talk about a little bit, Coach. Again, this is just your second game as the head coach. Talk to me about the coaching staff and the game day experience, how you're working on that to develop.
Well, it went a lot smoother on this past Friday night than it did the first Friday night. You know, they've changed the rules a little bit on the sideline.
Yeah.
You know, used to you could be in the officials area prior to the play, and then when the play you had to get back.
Sure.
Well, now you're not allowed to be there at all. And so we've gone through, and in our city, by the way, Atala City Parks and Recs does a great job with our facilities. Our field is second to none. Shout out to Mayor Means and Scotty Parrish and all the people at the city of Atala who do such a great job at giving us first class facilities across the board. So we had another line drawn for the players to stay back, so that our coaches actually had a coaching box to work up and down the side. So I didn't get a penalty this week. We had one penalty that was on the player. He got addressed about that, but it was a much better situation from that point this past week than it was the week before.
So who was the get back coach for the coaches?
We have several of them. As I recall, when I got slightly heated Friday night, our offensive line coach, Coach Cook, was the one who grabbed me and pulled me back. I felt someone grab me by the belt and pull me back. So he actually took that role on.
Jerry said, "Oh look, coach is going in for the play."
We're gonna get it worked out.
It was. There was one play where I was trying to aid the officials, probably a little bit too much.
Well, you know, I actually said that's the greatest coaching I've seen since Joe Billingsley, his first year at Gadsden High School.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it was impressive, Coach. I was impressed.
Wow.
And it takes a lot for that to happen.
It does.
It really
Appreciate
does.
that.
I don't think press him
I
stage.
should have got an award for that. I should have got you an award for that one.
You should have seen Joe when he was at Gordo.
I heard great legends about Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, well, right now I'm gonna let you introduce your offensive line coach, and we're gonna talk to him.
Well, met Coach Cook last year, Kendrick Cook. Obviously, he's pretty well known in Atala. He's more famous in Atala than Ryan Locke is, I can tell you that. When a year ago we were able to hire him, he late We stole him from Saraland High School, which
Hallelujah.
you know that they're not too bad themselves. He came fresh off of a 6A state championship game appearance. We hired Coach Cook a year ago. He came in and did a great job last year coaching defensive line. And when I was blessed enough to become the head coach, I told him I'm probably going to move you to offense, and because I need to move to the back end and oversee the overall picture, and I need somebody that I trust to coach the offensive line, and he's taken that on and done a tremendous job. He brings a lot of experience on both sides of the ball, and has college experience. Worked as a graduate assistant at Mississippi State and the University of West Florida, which, by the way, they've been pretty good themselves the last couple of years. He was on the foundation of that program when it was built. Spent some time at Gadsden City High School. Spent some time, as I said, at Saraland High School, and actually has head coaching experience himself at McIntosh High School. So he's invaluable to us as a staff and our program and our kids. So Coach Cook does a great job, and looking forward to letting him talk right now.
Yeah. All right,
Coach Kendrick Cook.
Going over, Coach. Man.
Put the microphone up a little bit.
Yeah, I got to put it up. See,
Put that up a little bit.
Blake loves it. Blake loves it. Coach, welcome home.
Welcome. It's so good, man.
Yeah.
It's been about like 13 years.
It's been that long.
Yeah. When I left in 2008, didn't come back for a while.
It's been a minute.
It's okay. You went on a journey. And talk about some of those stops that helped make you kind of who you are today.
So my story started when I left here. I went to Mississippi State. Was blessed to play 3 years, had a neck injury, so instead of playing my fourth in last year, I was blessed enough to go directly into coaching at 20 years old. So very blessed to be able to work for some great offensive-minded folks at Mississippi State at the time. Coach Dan Mullen took me under his wing and allowed me to learn and grow in that process. And just from there, it just kind of took off.
Yeah,
that's great. On that same line, you talk about Mullins and some influences. Talk a little bit about the influences who made you passionate about coaching and just the person you are. I mean, one of my kids is in your class and they absolutely love it. Comes home first day and says, Coach Cook's awesome. So. But he didn't say that on the first practice now. He just said it in class.
Give it 9 weeks to see what happens.
I don't know what y'all are talking about, but my passion for coaching started when I was a little boy. Most people don't realize, well, actually a lot of people do realize it. I'm originally from Asheville, Alabama.
Yeah.
And that's where I watched my dad coach, Coach Cook, Julius Cook Sr. And very blessed to have been around some really good coaches at that point too. A lot of people really don't know that Asheville trend line. Gentlemen like John Gross, Coach Russ Prost, Coach Former, who coached here. He's an Asheville guy. So, being around those type of people and watching my dad and just seeing how he interacts with children, that's who it is, And then very blessed to have played for Coach Kroom, who was my dad made over. It was like it was my dad made over. So seeing how he interacted with us as his players really and truly stuck out to me as saying, you know what, this is my life. This is who I am. So, and of course, Coach Mullen, and I can't tell you so many head coaches that I've worked for that have really and truly poured into me as a young coach, because at 30 years old, I've been coaching a third of my life.
Wow. And your dad, man, he coached so many kids, even kids he didn't coach. He didn't coach me, but he was Coach Cook to me, right? And I'll be standing over there, he's sitting on the track, in the chair, and I'm over there.
That's my old man.
And he's coaching. This will happen. This will happen. And then he never failed to always pray with me.
And that was Dad. I mean, anybody that knew Dad, they knew that God was first.
Man, yeah.
And God meant all to him. And that's how I grew up. And it's funny that we're talking about him because yesterday was 5 years.
Yeah, wow. God.
And so the biggest thing that I tell anybody is if I can be half the man Julius Van Cook Sr. was, I'm going to be all right.
You're going to be okay anyway.
I don't even got to be the whole. Just half.
Ain't nobody can be that whole, son.
I don't think so. And I may be biased.
I may be biased. I'm upset that, he's talking about all these great Asheville coaches. I coached there for a year. He didn't mention me.
He didn't say your name, did he?
And I even had him come speak.
You did. I actually did. I did.
Yeah, it was awesome. Those
so
kids,
long
those kids loved it. You coming back. So does your kids here now, understand your pedigree and that you were in that locker room. You bled on this field. You went on and did great things.
It does
and
mean
now
a
you're
little bit.
back.
It's a little bit different when they've seen you, because a lot of the kids that are seniors were little when I was in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny because I've got several kids that I'm related to on the team. And they're like, oh, I remember you back in 2008. And then I think that was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, and these kids were 6 and 7 years old. And to come back and really be able to give what I have back to my hometown, or what I consider my hometown, is more than anything. Because, you know, anybody that knows Italo, once you're from Italo, you're always from Italo.
No doubt. That's what we were telling Perry.
Yeah.
He forget that guys and stuff. He's a talent now.
And it's funny because I tell all the kids that move in, when they see the difference of Etowah football versus other places in the state, it is different because we're accustomed to very few things. And if we don't fit that certain thing, then we have to work till it fits that certain thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, just telling them the whole process of being a transfer.
Yeah.
Because I transferred in as a ninth grader. And being able to come in and be blessed enough to actually be around guys that believed in me.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge. And I think our kids are seeing that, and they're understanding that Etowah football is more than just football. It's definitely a family.
Let's talk about your passion. What you're doing right now, obviously coaching. Talk a little bit about your responsibilities with the Blue Devils. What do you do? And tell the folks that are watching, because there's a lot of them that watch.
If you ask the kids,
We do.
I am the one that makes them get it chopping. That's what I'm known for.
Yeah.
I guess you can say I'm the one that's going to be in their face, making sure that they're walking that line. But as far as my responsibilities, you know, Coach Locke trusted me with the offensive line. And a lot of games are won and lost in the trenches. And for me, and for me, that's a big thing. You know, that's a lot of trust.
Being trusted by an offensive line coach.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, when we were talking, he was like, now cook. Now you got O-line. Yes, sir. You tell me what you want, we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's my biggest responsibility, is making sure that the offensive line is where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, and doing what they're supposed to do when they get there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I also do strength conditioning.
Not that I knew anything about strength conditioning.
Me either.
Me neither.
We're all in it together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, we try to get our programs very similar to the collegiate level, because we want our kids to be college ready.
No doubt. That's awesome.
Because being at that level as a coach, you see the difference in your kids when they have a weight program versus when they don't have a program. And kids will go in 2 months behind where they're supposed to be at the same level as other kids. So we take a lot of pride in our weight room, and Coach Locke also trusted me with that. And I'm sure our kids really be like, Coach Cook is crazy. But
I think Coach Locke told us that.
but we love to have fun, you know. But we also, my biggest thing is understanding that there's a time to lock in, and there's a time to take this great deal of light and make it laser beam focused.
I can't let you get out of here without a couple things. First, talk about your bride, who
she's gorgeous.
Outkicked your coverage, son.
Hey, that's why you got 10 other teammates. Keep it in the well.
That's awesome. And you were far more than this. So you're a motivational speaker outside the classroom, outside the school, a businessman, an entrepreneur, hopefully soon a teammate of mine too.
Hey, that'll work. I'm one that sometimes I can get bored if I ain't got enough to do.
Yeah.
I can't say that out loud in front of Coach Locke. But
You just did.
He notices everything, by the way.
But
Nothing
you know,
slips.
for me, my life is more than just an 8. I can't say 8 to 5 because I work 8 to 8 in football. But 8 to 8 in football, these children need more than just who you are on campus.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for me realizing that when I was growing up and having men that coached me, pour back into my life, and to give me more than just an athletic background, whether it be academics or having a business mindset. Because the reality is not every single athlete is going to play at the next level. And then from that level, not every single athlete is going to play at the professional level. So are we preparing our kids for more than just ball?
Right.
And that's something that's huge to me because anybody that knows my dad, he preached education. I'm very blessed to come from a family where education is important. But as of late, business-wise, if I have an opportunity to help somebody, I want to make sure they can get help.
Yeah.
And it's irrelevant of what business it is. I do enjoy motivational speaking because not everybody has a person in their life that's willing to pour into them to motivate them.
Amen.
So if I can be that little like the one person, then I've done a good deed for the day.
Yeah, well, Jeff and I are going to have you on our Kapow podcast. I want to deep dive on what you're doing. We'll talk about the business and your motivational stuff.
That'll work.
Anybody you want to say hi to before you get out of here? She's sitting right over there. You got to look at her right in the mouth.
Right over there.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, she's a keeper. I tell you, man. She's, they tell you football coaches and their wives, they're single. They're single from literally spring ball to normally about December.
Yeah.
And we've been together since I was at the University of West Florida. So there would be times where I wouldn't get home to 3 o'clock in the morning, and she'd be like, "How was work?" And she's asleep. And then there'd be weekends where I go recruit and we talk. And so she's been faithful. I talked her into moving to the country from the beach.
Woo. Coach, you're the best recruiter I know, son.
Yeah.
Right there, baby.
There it is, right there. That is the
Thank
number
you.
one recruit.
Guys, let's get some love to
Yes.
Coach Kendrick Cook. Appreciate you, man.
Thank y'all.
We'll have you on too, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring Coach Locke back up here, and he really understands a football wife. We got to hear your story last week. I was enthralled by our story. That's a made-for-TV movie.
My better half is the one that makes that.
Well, obviously you're not a math teacher, because I was going to say better 3/4.
Well,
You do what you want with that.
Well, she does a great job,
Yes,
and she's a heck of a woman to put up with me, and all of us coaches, we're blessed. I'm blessed to not only have a great staff, but to have great women who support the men that I work with and what we do, and support us, and trying to help develop and mold these young men into hopefully what they can become. So,
and your mom.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My mother has been really my biggest fan my entire life, and certainly in my coaching career, her and my dad have traveled many miles to come watch. Sometimes not very successfully, but they've been there through thick and thin, and they're still there and plugging away. And there's not a game night that goes by that I don't talk to them afterwards. And,
Well, Mama Locke, I promise I'm going to give you the hashes and be sure it's more focused. I got you, Mama Locke. We appreciate you listening.
Oh, yes.
So now let's go. Jeff, I'm going to let you get into this.
Yep.
It's game week.
Yep. Coming up, playing Fultondale at Tarrant High School tomorrow night. You got some athletes on the Fultondale team.
Very athletic football team.
Yeah.
They can run. They're great from side to side. They can run with the best of them. They've had a rough stretch. They've had two rough away games. Opened up with John Carroll. John Carroll's a pretty well-coached football team. Played Munford. Munford's a really physical football team. And then Hanceville last week, it was just one of those deals where, both teams were going at each other, and Hanceville was able to win the battle at the line of scrimmage. But, they're athletic. They're really athletic. They run well to the football. They're really explosive. You have to account for all of their players on every single play, because any one of them are capable of taking it to the house at any moment. So this will be a challenge for us, our first road game. It'll be interesting to see how we handle that. And again, it's a little unique because something's going on with their stadium. This will be Fultondale's senior night and as you said, they're playing at Tarrant High School. So for everybody who's coming to the game tomorrow night, 91 Black Creek Parkway.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And we'll tag it as well.
Black Creek Parkway, Birmingham, Alabama. It's Tarrant High School. I think it's a pretty new facility from what I understand. And, we'll have to bring our A game, hopefully to build upon the success we had this past week. But this is not a team to sleep on. They're really athletic. They can beat us. They're capable of beating us, and we're going to have to play our best game.
Well, Coach Don Dover's done a great job, third-year coach.
And let me throw this out there
Yeah.
too. This is a program that's coming off of 4 straight region championships, so their kids are used to winning. And Coach Dover has been the head coach for 2 of those. He was the defensive coordinator before that, and so he's going to have his kids ready to play.
9-2, 8-3 the last 2 years, and you talked about last week how important it is to have experience. They have some experienced kids.
They do, and they're kids that have experienced winning,
Yeah.
and he'll do a good job in getting them focused and having a good game plan for us. And so we're going to have to be ready. And it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to make some adjustments, and we're going to have to play hard, and we're going to have to come out with the same intensity that we played the second half Friday night with, as a complete team, offense, defense, and special teams, to give ourselves a chance to be successful.
Yeah.
It's a different team. It's a 180 from what you played last week to this week.
Yes,
and getting the kids
very,
prepared.
very athletic football team. Not taking anything away from Adiana. I think Adiana's has got some good athletes. Adiana's a very physical football team.
Right.
Fultondale can be physical as well. This team is much more spread out. They're much more wide open as opposed to Adiana, which was pretty much they're going to run in between the tackles.
Right.
That's where they want them.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do offensively. Defensively, they give you some really different looks. They'll stack the box. They'll force you to throw the ball outside. So Trace is going to have to make some wise decisions on what he does with football. So this will be a challenge for us on both offensively, defensively, and in the special teams, because they're capable of taking any kickback as quick as they can.
Coach, let's talk about when you're at home. When you're at home, you have a lot of other responsibilities. Talk about an away game and what those, because I've interviewed a lot of coaches who say sometimes it's a little simpler as far as not having all the outside stuff going into a game.
Well, yes, it can be. Defense. When you travel like we do, you have to make sure that you have everything with you, because if you were to leave something at the school, you can always have some. We've got somebody that we can go make a run to the school and go get it. In this case, we're going to be an hour and a half away. That's not exactly feasible. So a lot of prior preparation, a lot of organization, making sure that we have everything in place that needs to be in place. Making sure our players go through each person's respective equipment, make sure they have their jersey, their pants, their cleats, their shoulder pads, their helmet, their mouthpiece, their girdles. You'd be surprised over 18 years of coaching. I actually had a kicker come up to me pregame one year and say he left his shoulder pads. I'm not going to repeat what I said to him at that moment in time. I was not very happy, and neither was our head coach. We ended up having kicking tryouts during pregame.
Oh gosh!
So things like that and you want to make sure you have water accounted for the players. Make sure you have all the spare equipment boxes. Plenty of footballs, replacement jerseys if a jersey gets ripped or torn. You just all these things that you're having to go through your mind to make sure that you have to get on the bus to go home, and then also making sure that we account for the uniforms after the game. We're wearing white uniforms. You got to get those grass stains out, so we'll be taking those up after the game and spraying them down with our. It's not shout. It's something even more powerful than shout. So we'll be doing that after the game. So you have to prepare for that. So everything, and then of course you're traveling this year with COVID restrictions, making sure that the players have masks on wherever they are, that they're seated appropriately and they're spaced out, all that type of stuff. So a lot of preparation that goes into this.
Well, I've heard you preach personal responsibility and responsibility on the field. That kind of goes along with being sure, hey, you have to be sure you have your stuff.
Absolutely. And we've actually set kids before who didn't bring it. We've set kids who, left their shoes, left their cleats, and they didn't go in on Friday night. So, that's just part of this process.
I'm going to choke Trent out if he don't bring his cleats. I'm telling you.
You won't be the only one. I won't have to. I'll make a phone call to April and Tommy Davis and handle that.
You didn't know that being a head coach involved everything.
Well, I had a good idea. You realize a lot more once you're in that position.
I would say so. CEO, CFO, manager, general manager, janitor, everything.
Everything.
Well, this goes along with Coach Farmer's speech he gave. He said he did a lot more grass cutting and clothes washing than he ever did coaching.
That's about right. That's about right. I do a lot more washing clothes on the weekend than I do watching film right now.
Well, Coach, let's bring in a couple of your players.
Well, we're excited this week. Of course, y'all already saw a little bit of Trent Davis. Trent, of course, is a 3-year starter at running back. He also plays strong safety for us. We have Desmond Blair, who is a senior this year, who came to us from the basketball program. He's also played wide receiver and defensive back. And I'm going to get out of the way and let them talk. 2 of our seniors for the senior spotlight this week. Running back Trent Davis and defensive back Desmond Blair.
All right. Here you go, guys. Kale, I'm going to call your mama. You got to stop. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
So coming off a game like you guys had this past week, high energy second half, you guys went out there. What happened at halftime for you guys to come back out and you were totally different? You were a totally different team at the second half of the game. So tell us a little bit, Trent. What happened? What took place? Maybe from the leadership standpoint.
Well, we had to get all the guys together in at halftime. You know, we was playing a little sloppy the first half. We wasn't playing like we were supposed to do. We was getting penalties. So we had to just go in and regroup and lead and round everybody up. Tell them, let's go. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get a win. So basically, we went in there and did that. And the coaches got on us a little bit, and we came out there and we played hard the second half.
I would say so. You did. You guys did incredible.
Hey, Des, step up here. Talk a little bit about coming from the basketball program now, enthralled in football. Well, what has it meant to you to be an Etowah football player?
Coming there is just a great group of kids that I grew up with my whole life, and we just always been around each other. I used to play football. I just took a few years off and just been playing basketball. But playing with them, it's gonna be a memory for a lifetime. Being able to say I played with these guys and watch we all grow up together.
Yes, speak up loud, man. These people are loud here. Come on. It's all family here.
It's just been great. Like we are just a family. We've been a family for a very long time. We just welcome in anybody new that comes from Gaston City, Southside, from wherever. Just a good family. And
when you play for Coach Graves, basketball-wise, that means you desperately want to go play football, get away from him. Huh?
It was great. He's a great coach.
No, it's incredible. Hey, Trent, you talk about a little bit. We've talked a little leadership with you before, but there's a core group of you guys. And I know you've had some meetings away from everyone else. Talk about the leadership and what it means to be a leader at Etowah High School.
It means a lot. Just getting the guys together, going to the field during the off times, grinding, putting in work with each other, hanging out, you know, just being friends, being a family, and that's just what it's all about. And it's been great being able to play here and be a leader for this team.
Well, obviously, you're going in tomorrow night to play a Fultondale team. It's totally different than Aniana, right? You got a lot of speed, right? A lot of athletes over at Fultondale. Talk about how you prepare for that kind of game mentally. Obviously, physically, we know what you guys do, but how do you prepare for that type of game mentally? What do you guys tell yourself before you get on that field?
Well, first of all, we can't get too hyped because we just came off a win. You know, you can't do that, and it's proven last year we did that, and we ended up getting spanked. So this year we just coming in with a different mindset. We just trying to do our best, do what we can do on the field, and be disciplined and come out with a win.
That's good.
Let's talk about you getting. I mean, you get a lot of reps. I've heard you speak a couple times about you just love being a good teammate. Talk about that. It's step up here, be loud, man.
Yes,
it's okay. You ain't in Coach Cook's class. You can be loud.
Yes, sir. I love to compete. I love to compete against guys like this and just go hard every single day and try to get better every day and just playing with them every day. It's just made me better. Made me better on and off the field. Just made me a lot better of a person. And we all keep each other's heads on straight in practice, out of practice, before and after games. It's just great.
Which is your favorite Coach Locke, him or her? Don't worry about he's sitting to the right of you.
He's my favorite coach. Like what?
Yeah, him or his wife.
Oh.
Mr. or Miss Coach Locke, which one?
That's my guy, man.
Follow Trent Davis. He's leading you again. That's awesome. Trent, a couple things. Just talk about you finally got the recruiting process out of the way. How does that feel?
It feels relaxing. I was getting phone calls a lot every day. Now they kind of slimmed down a little bit since I committed. But it was a great process. I'm blessed that I was a part of it, a part of these teams. I was on their board, and but it has been relaxing.
Yeah. Now, lastly, because I know we got to get Coach Locke up here and talk some business. How in the world did a dude that looks like you get a girlfriend like that? God's favor can only go so far.
Well,
What's up with that?
we've been on and off since third grade. That's my girl. So
Okay. I know she keep you in check. That's what I know.
I mean, she obviously she look better than me, so that's all that matters.
True. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the support from your mom and dad. Your parents are incredible. Talk about that a little bit, and how big the influence you are to Tyson, who tries. I heard him say he wanted to talk to Coach Lott and say, "I got to be sure I scored more touchdowns than Trent did."
Yeah, he really watches me on Fridays, and then he tries to repeat the stuff I do, which is normal. But yeah,
I heard he does do better.
But he does copy my moves though, so don't lie. But I hope he grows up to be better than me, better than what I was. Break my records. I'm at the end of the day, that's my brother. I love him, and I love my parents too. All the hard work they put in for me, recruiting wise, and my dad taking me to the field, putting some work in with me. It's just been a blessing to have all of them in my life.
No doubt. And your mom, man, she is unbelievable.
Yes,
I'm glad to call them friends, man. You're awesome. So let's give it up. Good luck tomorrow night, and we look forward to talking later in the season.
Yes.
sir.
All right, guys.
Good job, guys.
Get some love. Man. Coach, come on in. We're going to talk a little sponsors for a minute. Jeff's going to run through
All right,
our
we want to say
sponsors.
thank you guys to Northeast Orthopedic, one of our huge sponsors, and thank you for doing the player spotlight each week that's coming up, and we thank you so much. We also thank Atala Country Club for everything that you guys have done. Eagle Ridge Embroidery, we want to thank you. Jerry, you want to talk a little bit about 24 Snap Fitness?
Yeah, man, I can't wait to have some time off and working on my pecs. And, no. I got to get in there. Coach,
Thank you, Craig
Coach
Ford and all the family over at the Messenger. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. And then we also want to thank your buddies over at Etowah Used Cars. They are incredible. Go over there and get a deal. The number is 256-538-8222. And then we've got a couple more real quick over the Messenger. Popeyes, thank you guys for everything you did today, providing some meals for some folks for us today, and we certainly appreciate it. And your friend over at Southern Barbecue Company.
Yes.
Go see them in
Love
Atala
Steve.
and in
Boaz.
Yep.
And we got, don't forget Wesley Quarles.
Yeah.
Man, at Cornerstone Construction. He wants your business local. He played for Etowah High School. Him and his company built the field house there at Jim Glover Field. So thank you to all those sponsors. We're probably leaving some out as Coach raises his glass.
Jax,
Thank you
guys
very much for Jax for having us again. They do a great job. They're actually going to provide biscuits for us tomorrow for our breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're excited about that. The players will be happy, and we appreciate the support that Jax gives us. And Jax is a big supporter of high school athletics throughout the state.
Yep.
So we appreciate Jax and allowing us to be here and allowing us to do this and bring some recognition to our program and these kids and our school.
And of course, Larry Means in the city of Atala.
Absolutely.
And the Jeff Colgrove and the whole central office. Thank you for letting us be a part of this.
Also, you guys, Jerry, at Tamron, we appreciate you guys and the support that you guys do for high school football. And you don't just do this for free, you actually pay to do it. So it's awesome that you guys do that. So
that's the only way Coach Locke would let me be a part of it if I would pay to be here.
Yeah, that's
hey,
all right.
could you do something with O'Brien? He's got way too much energy. So. That's Morgan Bogle
I've
calling
tried
me.
to.
They better got some wins.
I've tried to work with Kale a little bit. He does have a lot of energy. He does have a lot of energy.
He does,
Yep.
man. It's because his dad's a Navy SEAL. He thinks he can do something. That's what it is.
Okay.
Anyway, Coach, got 9 minutes here. Let's really just get into it a little bit and final thoughts as far as, it's been a great week, but talk to the difference about learning to win with grace and understanding you get to celebrate a little bit, but there's a next step.
Well, that's actually a hill that we're having to climb right now. Your focus after a loss is so much more dialed in than after a win. After a win, everybody's happy. Everything looks right. You don't look at it with the same amount of criticism. When you look at a loss, when we watch that Gaston City film, you're zeroed in on every little detail. And the key to championship caliber success that we're trying to get across to our players is, you've got to treat wins like that.
Yeah.
You've got to block out the fact that you won the game.
Yeah.
And you have to personally evaluate yourself every single time. Is that good enough to beat the best team on our schedule? Every single week, every single play, every single rep, you have to look at that. So we're trying to get there, and then that carries over from film into practice. Practice wasn't as good this week as I wish it would be. And hopefully we're working to try to get to where we can be a really good practice team. Because if we're a really good practice team, then we'll be a really good football team. So that's a challenge for us right now, is to block out whoever the opponent was, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully to any of our opponents, because we know everybody on our schedule is capable of beating us. We have to continuously work on Etowah every single week. We have to make Etowah as good as we can be, because if we can do that, if we can accomplish that, then the sky's the limit of our possibilities. If we can't, then we leave a lot of holes unfilled. And so, those are things that we have to continuously work on. So to answer your question, yes, you have to learn how to, there's an old saying in coaching, don't let your highs get too high, don't let your lows get too low. We've got to find a way to level it out to where it's not this. We don't need peaks and valleys. We need consistency getting better. Consistently getting better is the challenge right now for us on both sides of the ball in the kicking game. From a mentality standpoint, it's a challenge that we have to embrace every single week. If we can get to where we enjoy practicing and we compete during practice and we practice hard, then the games will take care of themselves.
Coach, talk about how important it is for our fans to get in their cars and drive down to the game.
Well, I tell you that there's nothing like showing up at a stadium and outnumbering the home team with your fans, and that is what I would like to see. I know Fulton, this is senior night. Fultondale will have a pretty good crowd. We need to show up. We need to have a big blue out on their side, on our side, on our visitor side. So go to gofan.co, gofan.co. You're gonna have to look up Fultondale High School, and you'll be able to find our game. So it'll be Fultondale versus Etowah, and purchase your tickets right now. I believe they're $7. Coach Dover and I spoke earlier this week. I believe that's what he said it was. So and I believe they will have tickets available there at the gate. But go ahead and purchase your tickets now. Support. I tell you, it's nothing like, from a player standpoint and the coaches, there's nothing like looking back and seeing your fans behind you and having the support of the Big Blue Nation behind us.
No doubt.
You got some incredible fans. I can tell you that. Yes,
We do. There's nothing like seeing Atala in other places.
That's right. Well, that's it for the Etowah Football Show with Coach Ryan Locke. Go to gofan.co to get your tickets. Search for Fultondale High School to get your tickets. They're $7. Get out there. Coach Locke wants you to wear your blue. Get out there and blue it out, and I guarantee you,
Royal blue.
Royal blue.
Fultondale wears blue too. They wear navy. We want royal blue out there.
So let's.
It's all about the details.
That's right.
David.
It's all about the details. Let's see the
Absolutely.
Blue Devil Nation out tomorrow night. So, Coach Locke, for Jerry White, I'm Jeff Underwood. Thank you guys for joining us. Share this post. It's going to be on the Touchdown Club. Also, you can catch the game tomorrow night. Broadcast times at 6:30. WGAD 103.9 on FM and 1350 on AM. And then you can check us out on Kapow Sports on Facebook. It'll be live right there for you. And
Tune in radio app as well.
Tune in radio.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's always all kinds of ways to keep up with your Blue Devil Nation. But
Tell you
if
what,
you're physically
you
able
guys
to get
got your
there,
hands a little bit in everything, don't you?
try to.
We're trying to focus on our inner lock.
Interlock.
Okay. I'll try to focus on my inner white. and inner Underwood.
That's a lot of work if you go focus on the white.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, good to see you guys. Thank
Guys,
you guys
appreciate
so
what
much.
y'all
Yes.
do. Appreciate y'all being here again, and look forward to doing this next week. Hopefully, things. If we play well, maybe we'll be back here talking about another good game.
That's right. It's always good to hang out with you guys. Y'all
Hey,
make it
Miss
fun
Locke.
and interesting.
Miss you.